ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the breaking news. President Trump in the Situation Room late today with his national security team for a second day in a row now, meeting on Iran. And tonight, a source now telling ABC News the president is getting comfortable with the idea of the U.S. striking Iran's key nuclear facility called Fordo, 300 feet deep under a mountain. The president has not given the final okay, and of course it comes as the world watches and wonders, will the U.S. strike Iran? Now, in the Oval Office today, the president saying he is not looking to fight, but that, quote, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, saying if it's a choice between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do. Now, if the president gives the order for the U.S. striking Iran's key nuclear facility deep in that mountain, Fordo, what would this entail? Martha Raddatz standing by with what she's learned tonight, and ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce leading us off. She's at the White House.
Tonight, President Trump gathering his national security team in the Situation Room for the second day in a row. A source familiar with the intelligence tells our Martha Raddatz they think Trump is getting comfortable with the idea of the U.S. striking Iran's key nuclear facility called Fordo, buried 300 feet deep under a mountain. Separately, sources tell ABC News that the president told top advisors he approved of attack plans for Iran, but has not yet decided whether to put them into effect.
I may do it, I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble.
It comes as Israel intensifies its attacks on Iran, a massive plume of smoke billowing near Tehran. The IDF saying it struck at least 60 targets today, including nuclear facilities, missile manufacturing sites, and military bases. Trump has demanded Iran's unconditional surrender, but tonight the country's supreme leader defiant. Surrender to what? The Ayatollah said. The Iranian nation cannot be surrendered. We will not accept any kind of submission. And then this warning to the United States. The damage America will suffer if it makes a military intervention in this field will undoubtedly be irreparable.
The Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
Tonight, the president's own party torn on what to do. A division on full display in this clash between Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who supports a strike, and Tucker Carlson, who doesn't want America to get involved.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the population at all. No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple? How many people live in Iran? 92 million. Okay. Yeah, how could you not know that? I don't sit around memorizing population tables. Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
The president today asked for his message to Americans worried about the U.S. getting involved in another conflict in the Middle East after what they witnessed in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Too much devastation. And they'd use it. I believe they'd use it. Others won't use it, but I believe they'd use it.
The big decision facing Trump tonight, whether to drop a 30,000-pound bomb, the largest in America's arsenal, on that Iranian nuclear facility, buried 300 feet under that mountain. The president, who in his last term ended the nuclear deal with Iran that allowed in nuclear inspectors, has been urging Iran to negotiate an end to its nuclear program. Tonight, he says he still hasn't made up his mind on whether the U.S. military should enter the conflict.
I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. Especially with war.
Now, the president is still holding out hope for negotiations to end Iran's nuclear program, but again, we've learned that the president has approved of attack plans that have been presented to him. The bottom line tonight, David, President Trump has not made any final decision on whether the U.S. will strike Iran. David?
Yes, appearing to approve the plan, but not giving the order. A big distinction here. Mary Bruce leading us off. Mary, thank you. Let's get right to our chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz. Martha, this is your reporting late today. President Trump growing more comfortable, according to your source, with the idea of striking Iran's key nuclear facility deep in that mountain, Fordo. You and I have reported from Iran. What would this entail? How significant would this be with the U.S. getting involved potentially at this level?
Well, David, I'm told that if that final order is given from President Trump, this would not be a single strike, on the Fordo facility. It would be a series of strikes with 30,000-pound penetrator bombs from B-2 stealth bombers. This comes as the Israelis have discovered additional air defenses in Iran. They had thought as of yesterday they had taken them all out, but discovered that there are more, so that adds an element of danger. President Trump has also been briefed on security at U.S. bases in the region, those 40,000 American troops who would be vulnerable if the U.S. carries out the strike on Fordo and Iran retaliates. David?
Yes, significant concern for the tens of thousands of troops in the region. Martha Raddatz with us tonight as well. Martha, thank you. In the meantime, we turn to the other news tonight. Next tonight here to the severe storms moving into the Northeast. 115 million Americans on alert across multiple states at this hour. More than 20 reported tornadoes in the past 24 hours. This storm near Arnett, Oklahoma. A reported tornado damaging and destroying homes in northwest Arkansas right there. The threat now moving into the Northeast, and then right behind it, the extreme heat. So Lee Goldberg has the forecast, and ABC's Morgan Norwood with the images already coming in tonight.
Tonight, dangerous storms hammering the heartland as they head for the East Coast.
You hear it?
West of Springfield, Illinois, and Jacksonville, Derek Sturdivant recording as a massive funnel forms near the fairgrounds.
Right there!
Sending debris into the air. The sports complex nearby heavily damaged. Another funnel spotted in Petersburg. Our affiliate WRTV tracking dangerous storms bearing down on Indianapolis right during rush hour.
This is a very strong line of storms that has a lot of wind.
Overnight, massive supercells looming over Oklahoma City. 10 reported tornadoes across 6 states, along with 80-mile-an-hour winds and flash flooding in parts of Kansas. Chicago's skyline lit up with a triple lightning strike. In northwest Arkansas, a reported tornado tearing the roofs off multiple homes and a farm in the town of Highfill early this morning.
And David, that system is now tracking toward the East Coast. Severe storms in the forecast from D.C. to Philadelphia to right here in New York City tomorrow, David.
We're tracking it right here in New York. Morgan, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg of our New York station, WABC, tracking it all for us again tonight. Hi, Lee.
Hi, David. Some of those tornadoes in Illinois, rain wrap and dangerous. Make sure those mobile alerts are on. Still some rain in Chicago and a flood watch, but the severe threat runs from Detroit to Cincinnati with a severe thunderstorm watch. Still a tornado watch in Louisville. There's a tornado warning storm north of Canton, Ohio. More showers in the northeast toward New York City and down toward D.C. where there's a flood watch. That's in response to higher humidity and more heat. That's where we have storms tomorrow. Same front from New England, New York City, Philly, D.C. down to Raleigh, damaging winds, large hail, even isolated tornadoes. That's late in the afternoon and evening. This is the gateway to the higher heat. It's a flip of the pattern in the east. It's heat to start summer. Feel like ratings over 100. Definitely some weather whiplash in the northeast. David?
No question about that. It's been raining for weeks and now intense heat moving in. Lee Goldberg, thank you. We turn next tonight to the Supreme Court's major ruling today on transgender care for minors. For the first time, the justices weighing in on a state law banning treatments for transgender youth. The court upholding the ban. Devin Dwyer covers the court for us.
Tonight, the Supreme Court's conservative majority upholding Tennessee's ban on some gender-affirming medical care for transgender minors, clearing the way for 24 states to continue enforcing similar bans. In the 6-3 decision, Chief Justice John Roberts citing evolving science and profound implications, rejecting the argument that denying trans kids access to puberty blockers and hormone therapy amounts to sex discrimination. Roberts writing the issue should be left to the people, their elected representatives, and the democratic process. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by liberal justices Kagan and Jackson, dissented in sadness, writing the court's decision inflicts untold harm to transgender children and the parents and families who love them.
What they are saying is that trans people do not fall within the sex discrimination classification, that you can legally discriminate against trans people.
The sponsor of the Tennessee ban praising the court's decision.
The court affirmed what we believe, and that is that states do have a compelling interest to protect kids.
I won't say I'm optimistic.
LW, a trans teen who brought the case and asked us not to show her face, told us last year she'll keep pursuing the treatments in another state because they changed her life.
I think really the big difference was when I got on hormones. That was
incredibly helpful.
David, an estimated 100,000 transgender teens and their families live in states where those treatments are banned, but today's ruling has no impact in other states where gender-affirming care for minors remains legal. David?
All right, ABC's Devin Dwyer, who covers the Supreme Court. Devin, thank you. When we come back tonight, the lawmaker and her husband shot and killed, authorities say, by that suspect wearing a latex mask. Well, tonight here, what's now happened at their home. Also, the major recall involving chicken tonight. And then look at this, the dramatic rescue of a woman missing for days. She was airlifted from the area where she was found, how they found her, and the operation here in a moment. Break-in now at the home of murdered Minnesota lawmaker Melissa Hortman. She and her husband Mark were shot and killed early Saturday morning by that suspect in a latex mask. Well, now police say someone broke into their boarded-up home in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Tonight, the family does not believe anything was stolen. A woman missing for 3 days has been rescued now in Sedona, Arizona, airlifted from an area known as the Edge of the World. Authorities say she was found by someone rappelling near the bottom of the canyon, dehydrated and suffering minor injuries. She is okay tonight. Just incredible. When we come back, your news tonight about the TikTok ban set for tomorrow in the U.S. From the bear to the boss, this is something, and you've got to see the father of the bride tonight, and one incredible surprise. Index with the TikTok ban in the U.S. set to go into effect tomorrow. President Trump today extending the deadline again. ByteDance, the Chinese owner of the popular app, given another 90 days to find a U.S.-approved owner. Tonight, the USDA recalling some chicken products sold at Walmart and Kroger markets. The recall for ready-to-eat chicken fettuccine Alfredo because of possible listeria contamination. At least 3 people have died, 17 people sickened in 13 states. Labeled Market Side at Walmart and Home Chef at Kroger. They should be thrown away or returned. From the bear to the boss, the new Bruce Springsteen movie starring Jeremy Allen White. White singing in the movie portraying Springsteen in the 80s. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, set for October. When we come back here tonight, the father of the bride, who had no idea what they found from decades ago, and you'll see the moment he realizes what's been found. Finally tonight, the father of the bride, America Strong. Tonight in Bowling Green, Kentucky, an incredible surprise, a gift from a daughter to her father on her wedding day. Reagan Miller walked down the aisle by her father, Dale. She would soon marry Alex Kearns, and afterward, the father-daughter dance. But what her father did not know is that she had gone through the old family videos they had.
Reagan, how old are you?
Finding home videos of the two of them together when she was a little girl.
Say cheese.
And then, something long forgotten, something recorded more than 50 years ago. It was an old country song her family would sing together. She saved it for her wedding day, knowing she would be dancing with her father. And just listen as she plays the song. He had no idea that song was ever recorded. And that voice right there is her great-grandfather, Noble, her father's grandfather, singing. And then 2 more voices, his own mother, her grandmother, Lana, and then a very young voice, her own father as a toddler when he was 3 years old. He was singing too. This has been a family tradition for decades. And right here tonight,
hello, David.
That proud father of the bride.
Folks will begin to maybe record those special moments today and realize how special they'll be for years down the road.
And tonight, joining us too.
Hi, David.
That new bride, Reagan.
We certainly feel very blessed in the riches of our family love, and we appreciate you spreading the positivity. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. The power of a song all those years ago. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.